What's going on, everyone? My name is Miles. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Simulation Season 4 gameplay trailer, and I'm going to be talking about everything that we noticed from the trailer, some questions that we have, some questions that are unanswered, and we're also going to be going over some map changes and why they decided to make the map changes that they did. So let's go ahead and start off the trailer. So first off, we're going to notice here that one thing that a lot of people didn't really know is what this thing was going to be. The planet harvester, the 3 dots in the sky, they actually were the planet harvester that we have now, which is not only a big map change, but it's also going to tie into the lore as far as like a possible like move to Kings Canyon in the future, and maybe scrapping World's Edge probably in season 5, maybe even later down the road. So the planet harvester is constantly drawing resources from World's Edge, but it also gives us a new place on the map to land and loot and fight. So you guys can also see here, we're going to be having some map changes in Capital City, where you guys can tell it's going to be split up into two, the east and the west fragment. And not only are they going to be split, the only way to cross to each fragment is by the bridge in the middle or a Pathfinder or Octane Ultimate. So not only do we have that, we also have the survey camp, which you guys can see here, and this survey camp is a guaranteed weapon rack. So it has weapon racks where you guys can get like guaranteed good weapons, but the problem is it's not like the best place in the world to land. It's only good for the weapons. So you're not going to have like a lot of buildings to protect you, or you're not going to be able to like trap up and like play rotations. It's just going to give you somewhere else to land rather than having to land Capital City every time or something like that. So that's a pretty good implementation that we have there. And we also have some new things with the fissure that you guys can see, where if you fall down into the lava, you don't actually get like immediate, like you don't just fall to the lava and just constantly take damage and you're trapped. You actually get a lot of help, and they're going to lift you up out of the air now. It's called the Updraft. You'll see more about that at the end of the trailer. So we have some more skins here. We have a Bangalore skin, a Caustic skin, an Octane skin, a Mirage, and Watson skin. We'll see some of those up close in just a few minutes as the trailer continues. We also have a Lifeline skin that we see here, a Pathfinder skin that we see here, the Crypto skin, which looks really sick. Let me know if you guys think this is going to be a legendary skin or not, because it looks too sick to not be a legendary skin. We also have the Octane skin here, and then moving on, we have some more skins that are up close. This is the Wraith skin, and this one looks absolutely sick. And we go back, we also have the Watson skin. Obviously this one looks really cool too. I like all of those skins. I think I'll definitely be buying all of those. So we know that this is sponsored by the Hammond Robotics, and they tie into the lore with putting all the buildings together and stuff, and that's why we have everything that we have now. So we have Revenant dropping here at the Planet Harvester. You guys can get a third-person view of what it looks like to fall down as Revenant, and he also is sliding here. He kind of looks like Octane while he's running, and while he's like, you know, in the third person, I actually thought he was Octane at first. And then this is where things get a little debatable. You guys see here, this is the Flatline skin, this is a Wraith. But the problem is this right here with Watson, the gun that she's holding. So we have Lifeline with an alternator, and then here's where things get a little crazy. What weapon is this right here? It sounds like a 301. It looks like neither the R9 or the 301. So no one really knows what it is. I'll turn the audio up right here so you guys can hear the gunshots. But it's just absolutely like, what is that? Like, it sounds like a 301, but it doesn't look like any of them. So I just don't really know what to think or what to really expect with you know, this season coming up. Is there another weapon that we don't know about? I'm not sure. So here we have a first look at Revenant's death totem, where his abilities can be altered. His teammates can be altered into the shadow mode and have some shadow abilities, and then whenever they die as a shadow mode, they'll respawn to their normal self shortly after. And Revenant's finisher looks absolutely sick as well. Here's the new POI that we have over by Epicenter. There's a lot of buildings that we see here. A lot I like about this, the thing I like about this, look at like truck here, truck here, truck here, building here, building here, container here, truck here, building there, building there. Like, there's so many like obstacles to cover yourself with. So I think this is going to make for some really good fights here in ranked mode. We have Octane using his jump pad to get across to Capital City over the bridge. And this is where I was talking about, where if you guys land in the lava, it actually pushes you back up in the updraft, so you don't just keep burning. Then we also have a first look at the Sentinel Sniper, which looks absolutely insane. Looks like it does a ton of damage. Just some more map changes we have here in Capital City. I just love how much the map looks like it's changed. I hope the rotations are better like it was in Kings Canyon. And here's some more gameplay over at the Planet Harvester. This is where actually Fuel Depot was, and this looks like a Revenant skin, and tell me that does not look sick right there. Also looks like something scary, so that's got to be Revenant. So that's what we have for season 4. Moving on, we also have some confirmations as to why they decided to make some of the map changes that they made. So if you guys are wondering why they decided to work on third parties, or why they decided to make some of the map changes to Capital City, or multiple different cities that we actually have, here is an official response as to why they decided to do what they decided to do. So they start off by saying, "Hi, I'm Jason McCord, designer director at Apex Legends. With Apex Legends Season 4 simulation fast approaching, which is actually tomorrow, I wanted to share some things with you guys on design decisions that drove the Season 4 map changes, updates to World's Edge." He says, "Our main goal for a map update on the design side is to get players to make new decisions," which I'm happy about, because Kings Canyon was a much better map for rotations and stuff. "By the end of a season, you probably have your favorite spot or spots to land. You might prefer to rotate out of the drop location in a certain direction, which in turns makes a lot of your games feel similar, and as the season progresses, so it kind of gets stale. You guys know what I mean. Our goal as designers is to offer new ways for you to approach the game, and in this case, the map, so that each drop, rotation, and gunfight feels as fresh as possible. Here are a few things we're doing in Season 4 to hopefully achieve that." So you guys can see right here, here's a picture of Capital City and kind of just the overlook of World's Edge before, and then here's an after with the Planet Harvester. So it looks really sick. I like it a lot. I just think they're making really good changes to all of this. A lot of this just starts to make a lot more sense now. We also have some more map changes that they talk about with the Planet Harvester. As you drop into World's Edge, you'll immediately see the Planet Harvester, which Hammond Robotics are using to gather precious metals from the core of the planet for reasons unknown. The red beam can be seen from the entire island, giving players a better sense of directionality and understanding of the center of the map. Anyone who has played Season 3 of World's Edge knows that Fuel Depot can be scary, especially in the late game. Because this POI is the center of the map, changing this location gives players more opportunity to experience new content more often. With its large multi-level design, the Planet Harvester is unlike anything on World's Edge, so it's a new building design, and brings exciting new gameplay options to the game. Fights are largely self-contained, as squads will tend to enter the fight through the long hallways that lead to the center of the structure. This should make third parties a little bit more predictable and hopefully easier to defend against. Considering the unstable volcanic nature of World's Edge is no surprise to the Planet Harvester has caused giant lava-filled faults to rupture, splitting Capital City into two. This is really good information, because Capital City was way too much of a hot drop last season. You guys can see on the picture now how it split up into two. And they talk about it. They say Capital City splits into two. Capital City was was the biggest POI in Season 3, getting the most action right out of the ship by sending the, I think it's pronounced the Fisher. If I'm not pronouncing it right, you guys can comment down below and just help me out here. But by sending the Fisher straight through Capital City and creating some dead space in between, swallowing up one of the construction buildings as well. We essentially split this area into two separate zones for players to land in and loot. Fragment East and Fragment West. The lava fissure can only be crossed in two locations, a zip line or the fallen skyscraper bridge. And it's actually not true, because you can actually cross it with the Octane jump pad as well, as we saw in one of the pictures, or actually I think we saw in the trailer. This allows teams some breathing room to control one side after the drop, reducing the risk of running into third parties from the other side of the city. Is this construction site too hot for you? Land in Fragment East and use a Watson or a Caustic to control the choke points for extra security. Of course, Pathfinder and Octane can use their ultimate abilities to get their teams across to any location. The Updraft. Now, the Updraft is something new. Here's what they say about it. The original design of the new Fisher had players drop to their death if they had the misfortune of missing a jump. We wanted this gap to matter. We wanted this gap to matter for players to fight across and control the bridges as the only way across. This lets certain legends shine, Pathfinder and Octane for crossing, Caustic and Watson for defending, and created some intense firefights when the ring was approaching. The problem was a fatal fall felt too punishing. The last thing we wanted was players avoiding the new map changes because they had an unfair experience. Now, if you jump into the fissure that cuts through Capital City, you'll slowly be carried back up to the from the heated pressurized air and allowed to coast across and land on the other side. This is balanced by two things. First, you take 25 damage from the intense heat and embers floating inside. This is a consistent amount of damage every time you drop back down. Second, you travel very slowly in third person while moving in the updraft. You are essentially a flying loot pinata for any nearby enemy players. Then they say competitive integrity is always a big factor while designing new features, and our main concern with this feature was allowing players to escape fights they are losing by sliding into this fissure and sailing away. We think that the damage and slow rise make players respect the gap while in a firefight, while in calmer moments allowing players to have fun and experiment with the new space and without the risk of immediate death. And you guys can see some pictures of some more map changes here that we have. It looks like to be Survey Camp. And we're going to talk about Survey Camp next. It says this is a new small POI in the snowy fields between Epicenter and Skyhook. This is another camp created to relieve the pressure of locations like Capital City, Refinery, and Epicenter. It also creates some potentially new rotations, like moving through the train tunnel to get to Skyhook. Because of this small POI, we wanted to give it a little bit more of a draw. So for this season, they created weapon racks. Weapon racks, they are guaranteed weapons placed on a rack in small buildings of a survey camp. You'll recognize them from training or the firing range. This should give players, they totally messed that up in the official notes here. They say this should give players who prioritize a good weapon over a premier drop location a new decision to make. We're always excited trying to flip the Battle Royale rules on their head and looking forward to seeing how this feature influences where players drop. With these updates, as well as a new town takeover coming in later in Season 4, we're hoping you are excited to play the New World's Edge map as we are. Thank you for playing Apex Legends. And then they sign it, Jason McCord, Design Director, Apex Legends. So we have a lot of good news right here. We saw a lot of things from all of this, but there's just one thing that I'm really just like stumbling over constantly, is that weapon. I just want to know, is it going to be the Vault SMG? Is it going to be the car? Is it a brand new weapon we've never seen, or is it simply just the R301 skin? We don't really know, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm looking forward to your response, and I'm looking forward to everything that you guys have to say. I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know how hyped you are for tomorrow for Season 4. Also, I'm going to be live streaming Season 4 tomorrow, right when the update comes out, so make sure to stop by. My Twitch channel is in the link below. See you guys later. Peace.